The following story about the unfaithful dentist will make you pay closer attention to your personal relationships. Also, please like and subscribe to help in the channel's growth. I met her at a friend's birthday party. The place was loud, people chatting all over, but when our eyes met, it felt like time had stopped for a second. Amanda was stunning, with a captivating smile and a way of speaking that instantly drew me in. It was as if we were in our own world, separated from everyone else. We talked for hours that night. What impressed me the most was how interested she seemed in everything I said. I wasn't used to that kind of attention. Throughout my life, I had been someone who always gave more than I received in relationships. But with Amanda, it felt like I had finally found someone who truly saw me. She made me feel special, like I was worthy of being loved. As the night went on, we left the party to walk around the city, and under the glow of the streetlights, I knew something deep was happening. In the following days, we went on several dates, and our relationship quickly grew serious. Amanda was smart, funny, and had a presence that lit up any room. Whenever I was with her, the world around us seemed lighter, more colorful. She would look at me with admiration and constantly tell me that I was the man of her dreams, someone she could see herself building a life with. During those early months, everything seemed perfect. I was falling hard, completely wrapped up in this woman who seemed made just for me. Work was going well for me too. I was a manager at a tech multinational and had built a solid reputation over the years. My salary was excellent, and Amanda always made a point to remind me how much she admired my professional success. She loved to bring it up in conversations with her friends, showing pride in being with someone so accomplished. Soon, we started making bigger plans. Amanda talked about the future with a conviction that made me fall for her even more. We imagined our dream home, vacations to exotic destinations, and even the perfect wedding. She dreamed of an apartment in a fancy part of town, with a spacious balcony and sleek, modern decor filled with designer pieces. It was ambitious, but I wanted that for us. I wanted to give her the comfortable life she envisioned. I believed that with my job and our savings, this future was within our reach. However, somewhere along the way, I started noticing small things that, in the heat of passion, I chose to ignore. During casual dinners with friends, Amanda often made subtle remarks about the lifestyle we were living. She'd talk about how she deserved nice things and how she always wanted to be with someone driven and successful. Back then, I thought it was natural, after all, who wouldn't want stability and comfort? But looking back, those comments now show me what I was too blind to see at the time. Everything continued on like this until the company began facing difficulties. At first, they were just rumors. A budget cut here, a restructuring there. I knew something was happening, but I didn't believe it could affect me directly. I had spent years at that company, building a solid career. I was confident my position was secure. But as life often reminds us, nothing is guaranteed. The day of my layoff came like a slap in the face. I walked into the office that morning as usual, thinking about the tasks ahead and the goals I needed to meet. When I was called into an impromptu meeting with HR, a chill ran down my spine. The feeling of impending loss settled in my gut before they even said a word. Unfortunately, we have to make cuts, and your position will be eliminated. And just like that, with a single sentence, all the security I had built over the years crumbled. I got home earlier than usual that day, my head spinning. How was I going to tell Amanda? The woman who always said we'd be together no matter what. When I walked into the apartment, she was sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone. For a moment, I stood by the door, trying to figure out how to start. I placed my keys on the table and took a deep breath. Amanda, we need to talk, I began, feeling the weight of my words before I even said them. I was fired. Her expression changed instantly. Just moments ago, her eyes had been bright, her smile soft as she scrolled through Instagram. But as soon as she heard the words, "I was fired," her face hardened. "What are you going to do now?" she asked, without hesitation, without comfort. There was no hug, no look of empathy. Nothing. Just that practical, direct question, as if my job loss was a problem to be solved quickly. In that moment, I started to realize something was wrong. But I forced myself to believe it was just the initial shock. I needed time to process, and maybe she did too. Over the next few days, Amanda continued to treat me differently. The long hugs and deep conversations about our future were gone. Instead, our talks were about how we needed to cut back and adjust our lifestyle. She spoke about how we needed to be practical and realistic, but her words felt distant, almost mechanical. What had once been a relationship built on mutual support and companionship now seemed to morph into a financial partnership. I spent hours looking for jobs, while she grew more and more distant. As I sat at home, sending out resumes and trying to schedule interviews, Amanda was going out more frequently. She'd come home late, saying she needed to clear her head or spend time with friends. And while I battled anxiety and insecurity, she seemed less and less invested in the struggle I was going through. One night, after yet another frustrating day of job hunting, I suggested we cut back on some expenses until I got back on my feet. Maybe we could delay some of the trips we had planned or stop eating out at expensive restaurants so often. That's when she said it, without hesitation, "I don't see myself living like this for very long." That sentence cut like a knife. It wasn't just the words but the meaning behind them. It wasn't the fear of facing hard times together, it was the rejection of the idea that our life could change. In her mind, our relationship was tied directly to the financial stability I provided. The following days were filled with even more distance. I tried to hold on to what I thought we still had, but she was already in a different reality, a different relationship, one in which I was no longer essential. Her nights out became more frequent, and the excuses grew weaker. Pictures of her at parties, dinners, and events began popping up on social media, always surrounded by people I suddenly didn't recognize. It was as if Amanda was slowly erasing me from her life, and I, powerless, watched our relationship unravel before my eyes. Then one day, I came home to find a letter on the table. It was short, direct, cold. Amanda said she needed space, that our relationship wasn't working for her anymore, that she had to focus on herself. Her words were empty, like a formality to justify the obvious. She didn't want to be with me anymore because I no longer represented what she sought. The successful man, the provider, the symbol of security was gone. And without that, the love she claimed to have felt disappeared too. I was devastated. That final blow knocked me down completely, and for days, I couldn't leave the house or speak to anyone. I spent hours staring at the walls, replaying everything that had happened between us in my mind. Where exactly had it all fallen apart? Had I been blind all along, or had Amanda suddenly changed? The more I thought about it, the clearer it became that something had been wrong from the start. Amanda had never truly been with me for who I was. She had been with me for what I represented. She fell in love with the status, the comfort, the life I could provide, not with me as a person. What I mistook for real love was, in fact, convenience. When the stability was gone, so was the love. It was a painful lesson, but a necessary one. I had been too blind, too wrapped up in the idea of being loved, to see the truth. Amanda had never loved me for me, she loved what I could offer. And when I could no longer provide that, she had no reason to stay. Share your thoughts on the comments section and don't forget to follow for more videos like this one.